alaykum qadrli tinglovchilar. Chet tillari o'qitishning integrallashgan kursi fani bo'yicha navbatdagi mashg'ulotimizni boshlaymiz. Bugungi mashg'ulotimiz asosan ta'limda baholash bilan bog'liq. Demak, mavzumiz nomi Choosing Assessment Activities deb nomlanadi. Demak, boshladik. What is assessment activities itself? Why do we conduct it? Firstly, to collect information about how our learners are progressing. Next one, to make judgments about our learners' achievements. We have two different ways of assessment. They are formal assessment and informal assessment. Assessment tasks for formal assessment can be in the form of tests or other kind of examinations. Assessment tasks for informal assessment can be in the form of teaching and learning activities during our sessions, during our lessons, and of course, homework tasks. And let's speak about purpose of both formal assessment and informal assessment. We can use proficiency tests, achievement tests, progress tests, placement tests, and diagnostic tests as formal assessment. For informal assessment, we can use feedback for teacher, feedback for students to help teacher improve procedures or choose different materials or activities for future lessons. And marking system also is different for both types of assessment, for formal and informal assessment. Learners receive grades for formal assessment like percentage, grading system from A to F or A to C, or just we can put pass or fail. For informal assessment, teacher keeps records and give grades for the learners, or maybe students keep records for themselves. Here you can see some examples for formal assessments: cloze test, gap fill, jumbled sentence, sentence transformation, multiple choice, true, false, don't know questions. And in some case, we can use not given instead of don't know. Matching, sequencing, summary. Here, examples for informal assessment: proofreading, information transfer, dictation, summary, guided writing, interview, information gap activities. We can also use portfolio as a form of assessment. There are some advantages of portfolio. They are easy to integrate, include whole range of students' work, provide a wide range of useful information, and show how learning is progressing. Also, we should mention here about disadvantages of portfolio. A large amount of marking at any one time, and much of them may be subjective. Important tips that should be considered: test the main things we have taught. For young learners especially, we should be very careful when we are choosing assessment activities, because some kind of activities can be very difficult for young learners. Let the learners know we are assessing them, even we are conducting informal assessment. In large classes, we need to assess small number of students in different lessons, and we should keep if informal assessment we are conducting, especially when we are teaching large classes. Here you can see things we have to consider about when we are choosing assessment types. We should consider the size of the class, the age of the students, the knowledge we want to assess, and the frequency of formal tests. Here you got some information about assessment activities. Shuning bilan baholash bilan bog'liq va baholashda ishlatish mumkin bo'lgan topshiriq va faoliyat turlari bilan bog'liq mavzuyimiz o'z nihoyasiga yetdi. Ushbu fan doirasida keyingi mashg'ulotlarimizda uchrashguncha xayr.